Hey guys, I'm Evan. Welcome to Country View Acres. So today we're going to split the rest of this firewood we got cut up. We are going to clean up around the firewood shed, get everything cleaned up, and then we'll go ahead, we'll get the log splitter moved out of here, and then we should be ready to tear down this shed. And we also got to run to town today. We're going to pick up 3 more of these IBC totes that we're going to turn into firewood totes. And then we got a few other odd jobs we need to do around the property. All right, we'll start on the first pull. All right, my last firewood tote is filled up, and I tried to pick out the best firewood in this pile. What's left here is got a little punky, it's starting to rot. So this tote I just split's better firewood. It's gonna be burnt in the house. The rest of that will be burnt in the workshop, but I don't have any more of these totes right now to fill up. So I'm gonna have to hitch up the trailer, run into town and get a couple more. Well, I had a friend text me the other day and said if I needed any more IBC totes that they had some. And boy, they set me up. All 3 totes, they've already cut out the plastic tote. They've cut out the opening for a firewood tote, got the lid made. So they've basically done all the work to turn them into firewood totes. And then I don't have any plastic to deal with to throw away either. So they really set me up pretty good. So what I got left to finish up is I do have a few logs laying around here that I need to cut up with a chainsaw. I have some scrap lumber here that I need to pick up and haul off. I think there's some cinder blocks laying here, some maybe in the grass and stuff. And then I just need to get all of the firewood rounds split up and haul off all these totes and the log splitter, and I think we'll have this area clean. So I got everything moved out of the firewood shed last night. The only thing that's really left here is all the trash off the wood splitter. And you can see all of this. This is all bark, splintered wood, chunks of wood, everything that comes off the wood splitter. So I think I'm gonna grab the mini skid, see if I can get that all pushed into the pile, and then haul it off with the tractor. All right, just finished up. Firewood shed's all cleaned out now. So we're ready now to tear down the firewood shed, except for one thing, and that is the dump trailer. I want it to be empty. I got it full of stuff I need to run to the landfill. So after I get that dumped, we'll tear this down. So that'll probably be later this week. So I ended up getting another mineral feeder for over here in the pine trees. And I've just got some big old, they're about 12-inch landscape nail with a big washer on them. I'm gonna anchor this to the ground best I can. Looks like the hole's a little small. I'm gonna have to drill it out. I got some Redmond garlic salt that I'll put in this compartment. There's 3 compartments in here. I'll smell like garlic the rest of the day. And this here is the regular Redmond salt. So now anywhere I may divide up the cattle or sheep up separately, there will be a mineral feeder in each spot. And I try to pick a shady spot because this black lid gets so hot out in the sun, it like almost burns you to touch it. So I always try to pick a spot that at least has, you know, shade 70% of the day. So in the last couple videos, I was talking about the priorities I'd be working on, and I forgot one important one that I'm gonna have to start on here pretty soon. And that has to do with this pasture here in the front. So we're gonna run a divider fence. We've already talked about that, and it's gonna go down where this new pasture, you can see the color difference. Where this new pasture is, it's gonna go down to the end of that fence. It's gonna be a divider north and south. Well, the thing I forgot about is the north side of this field, I need to plant in pasture grass, so it's just like this, in perennial pasture, clover and grass. And we're gonna have to end up mowing all this down, and then we're gonna have to plow it and plant it here in the next few weeks. So what I need to do is I need to move the temporary fence, and I need to get that in this pasture, in the new pasture area, about maybe 10, 15 feet in. So I've got plenty of room to run my new fence, and I've got plenty of room, you know, to work up this field and replant it. So I'm gonna have to put in all new temporary posts from one end of the field to the other, probably put up 2 electric wires just to try to keep them from trying to jump over the fence and get on that side. We'll lock the cattle in on the south side of this pasture, and then I should be free to come and go and work this field, put in the fence posts, and do everything that I have to do over the next month. Hi Maya. Had to come down and see what I was doing, didn't you? Don't mess with my camera, Maya. Look out. Here they come running. You guys are having way too much fun with this. Well, you guys have all slowly worked your way to the wrong side of this fence. Not helpful. Keep going. Keep going. Why do you think that you want to be by yourself? There you go, back with the others. Well, it looks like they found the mineral feeder. All right, I think I got everything set up for the cattle. They're in the right spot, so I think we're done out here. So I think the next thing I want to do is I just want to go ahead and take the dump trailer over to the landfill and see if I can get rid of all this trash. That way we are ready to tear down the firewood shed. This will be my first time using the tarp on this thing. Oh, that piece right there is bent a little bit. There, it's in. Now I should be able to crank this thing tight. Yeah, about like that. So this tarp has some grommets in the side. I can probably tie it down a little bit better. Go between the grommets, and then there's a hook down there. There we go. Probably won't flop around as bad. Well, let me grab the truck, we'll get this hitched up, and we'll head to the landfill. All right, coming up to the landfill, it's this big hill over here. At least that's part of it. Well, gotta have a hard hat and vest to be inside the landfill. So I didn't have one, they let me borrow one. Well, couldn't really film back there, but I got the trailer dumped. They had like 4 lanes where you could back into, dump your trailer, and then they had like a bulldozer pushing it down to where they were building up the new landfill. Well, the price to take stuff to the landfill is $150 a ton, and I didn't have a full ton, and it's a minimum of $150 fee. So it cost me $150, but we got rid of a lot of stuff. That's cheaper. A lot of times I would get like a roll-off dumpster, and it would be you know, like a 20-yard dumpster or something like that. It may cost close to $400 or $500 to have one dropped off and then to come back and pick it up. So I couldn't really justify getting a big dumpster like that. So this is probably the better deal. So it's a pretty nice evening outside. There's no wind. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and mix up some paint. I'm gonna paint these pipes black here. These are gonna be our fence posts. And I'm just gonna use a paint sprayer outside. I know a lot of people probably don't like that idea, but there's like literally no wind tonight. So it'd be a good night to do it. Try not to make a mess. Well, that really didn't work out real well. So I just finished getting everything cleaned up and put away, and at least we are one step closer to putting the fence up out in the pasture. And this is really all I'm waiting on, is I'm just waiting on getting these pipes all painted so that they look nice, but that also helps keep rust off the fence, makes the fence actually last longer, because rust will pull that galvanization out of the fence and it'll make it slowly rust over time. So instead of the fence lasting like the 25-30 year warranty, it'll probably start rusting, I don't know, 10-15 years or something like that. It'll speed up the process. It'll probably only last half as long. So I'm just trying to do this to make sure that the fence basically lasts the rest of my life. And this is one of those things where I intend to paint these of an evening, and I usually wait for it to get shaded on this side of the shop in the evening to paint, and by that time it's usually after 6 o'clock, and I'm usually pretty worn out and it's hard to get motivated to come out here and do this, so I keep putting it off. But at least I got out here tonight. And you know, painting is just one of those things, like, I don't enjoy it, and I especially don't enjoy the cleanup afterwards. I don't know if a lot of people really like to paint. It's just hard to motivate myself to get out here and do this, but it needs to be done. I need to get this project started, and you know, it won't take long. I don't think it'll take really long to drive the fence posts in and get everything ready to put fence up. It's just getting everything painted and ready to go. That's the hard part. But yeah, hopefully I got another set of like 15 pipes over there. Hopefully I'll get those painted over the next few days, and then hopefully next week maybe we can start putting these fence posts in the ground. But I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.